This video podcast is brought to you by OutFoxed Entertainment and viewers like you. If you'd like to support us, check us out at www.patreon.com/outfoxedit. Right. It's in progress, in case you didn't notice.
I guess I'll consent. Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Well, welcome everyone to our video podcast. I'm Oliver.
I'm Taryn Brewer.
And I'm Hayden Wilson.
Whoa, and I'm the only one who didn't say his last name. Evensen.
Yeah, yours is on the YouTube
mine,
channel.
It's on the screen, yeah. So
should we start over?
No, it's okay. Bloopers are great. This is all fun stuff. So let's just go with it. And today our question is, let me find it again. Okay, there it is. What obstacles prevent you from writing?
I'll start with my personal adversary. For me, it's time constraints and finding ways to overcome time constraints. Yeah. It's something I've gotten better at, but when I first started writing, that was the thing that killed me because I was in college and I didn't have time for nothing.
I feel like, we all have the same time, but like we all have different commitments and different things that come up in our lives. And so scheduling that time or making the time to do it can be really difficult. And usually if we do have any leftover time, let's face it, we don't want to spend it doing more work, right? We want to relax or do something else.
Absolutely. I was just kind of thinking too, for me, a big adversary, I like that word that Taryn used, adversary, because it makes things sound more epic, like you're trying to fight a dragon. I would have to say motivation can sometimes be a hard thing, and that's kind of as you mentioned before, Oliver, sometimes when you feel like you have the free time, sometimes it's hard to hop back in and to get writing and such, because it's fun and as exciting as it is, it is work. It's sitting down and dedicating your time and your energy and your mind into creating this work. And you may fully enjoy it and it may be so much fun, but it does stress and it does, take those resources from you. So I think motivation can sometimes be a difficult thing, because, you want to do it. It's not saying that, it's not that you don't want to write, because if you're listening to this podcast and all of us, we all want to write, but sometimes it's just trying to get over that hill and really just kind of buckle down and get it done.
That's so true. Thank you, Hayden. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Sometimes just that, that desire, you want to do it, but sometimes you just want to play a little bit of Call of Duty or a little bit of
Breath of the Wild,
or whatever it is.
Craft.
I wish I could say, I'm productive. When I have free time, I go read a good book, right? And I do. I mean, I love reading, but even that sometimes feel like a chore when we have all these cool, exciting things we can do all around us. I'll go ahead and go next. And so one of my biggest obstacles is actually I kind of want to allude it to this conversation we were already having, where I tend to watch a lot of TV. TV is a huge obstacle for me. I'm really good at doing passive work, where it's just like, doesn't require much thought. I can just throw on a movie and just start cleaning or, doing some dishes, or better yet, procrastinating by organizing my office. I think that's one of the biggest writer procrastination things. It's like, I got to clean my office and everything's got to be perfect before I can do any writing today. And then by the time it's like, oh, it's bedtime, I guess I better go to bed.
It's like, I'm not being lazy. I'm not procrastinating. I'm cleaning up. I'm doing something productive.
Exactly. But it kind of leads on to my other obstacle, which would be energy. When you're doing all these things, I tend to be a workaholic too. So, I work a full-time job. I take care of my kids because I'm a stay-at-home dad, I clean the house, I cook, I do all these different things. And so like to try to squeeze in the time, I can make the time for it, but I always feel like I'm letting either I'm letting like a family member down, or I'm letting down someone at church, or there's always some commitment that I have to kind of give up in order to pursue my writing passion, so to speak. And I kind of feel bad about that sometimes. I don't want someone else to miss out, or not be able to help someone because I couldn't be there, because I was busy writing. Is that sounds kind of weird when I say it out loud, but that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. No, and that right there is also very relatable too, because I'm also in a similar boat. I work nights, so during the day, while the missus is at work, I'm at home with the kid, and it is hard too, because your kids love you. They want to be around you. They want to play with you. They want you to be involved with what they are, and they're so young that they don't really realize that you need that time, and so it can be difficult having to try to juggle their needs and their wants while trying to focus on what you need to do. So,
and
yeah.
Saying that out loud, it's like, sometimes, like, I was even thinking this today. It's like where my family is almost kind of an obstacle to this career, right? And I hate even to say that out loud, because to me it just sounds bad. Like, how could I see my family as an obstacle to doing something I love to do? But it is kind of true. I mean, how do I put it without sounding like a terrible person? I don't know. But you do have really that are, I guess you could say, more important commitments. My family really is more important, and they should come first. And to be honest, I haven't always made good choices in the past. I haven't always put my family first, and that's something I want to say for the record, I regret doing. I love writing, but I really do believe that family should come first, and I'll just leave it at that. But I also believe that while family can be an obstacle, they can also be a source of great strength. And I think it has to do with communicating with them and letting them know, hey, and letting them know you're serious. Like, if they can see you're serious and that you're really making progress, that also might help them get on board and say, hey, I want to help you do this.
Actually, something that kind of lines up with that. There's an author. I saved this actually on Pinterest a while ago. It was one of those. I have like little writing things pop up in my feed every so often because I'm always looking for new tips. But there was something from Nora Roberts, and she talks about, somebody asked her at a Q&A about how you balance writing and kids, and she just said the key is that you're kind of juggling, and you need to know that some balls you have in the air are made of plastic and some are made of glass. And if you drop a plastic ball, it bounces, no harm done. If you drop a glass ball, it shatters. So you have to know which balls are glass and which are plastic, and prioritize catching the glass ones. And you just have to remind yourself, which one are you catching, plastic or glass? And just weigh things in order of importance, because not everything your kid does is necessarily a glass ball. Not everything your writing needs is necessarily a glass ball either. And so just finding that balance between the two every day. I know it's hard, but I think it's an interesting way to look at it. Thinking about and speaking of like juggling glass balls, I found for me, I was, for like these last few months, I was like, oh man, I've been really stressed between just juggling work, juggling family, juggling Miss Beefins. That's not her real name, but
yeah, I knew you were talking to who you're talking about the minute you said that.
she certainly acts like one. But she's a darling cat. But I was thinking about that quote a lot, and something that's helped me is kind of the 20/20 rule. So when I know I have things important to do around the house or to do with someone, sometimes I just chop my day into 20-minute intervals. It's about as long as I can to focus. It's like if I need time to relax, hooray, there's an episode of TV I can watch. And then I'll do 20 minutes of writing, maybe 20 minutes to clean that kitchen, 20 minutes to chase the cat off the table, play with her, whatever she needs, and because some days it's just busy, and that's all you can do, is just do 20-minute intervals. And I know that's not going to work for everyone, but I feel like it gives you just enough time, especially for writing, because to me, like 5 minutes, that's not enough to get into it. you haven't overcome that hill where you're just power writing. But 20 minutes to me is like that perfect time where if you just sit down with your paper, especially if you're on a first draft, you
Yeah.
can just really start like just typing. And sometimes it's good typing, sometimes it's sometimes it is just typing and you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's not coherent sentences or words. But it eventually something will kind of just click in your brain. And then maybe you can decide if you need to extend that 20 minutes, you can totally do it. If not, you just stop at the 20 and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I actually do the same thing. That's my big thing too. I'm doing 20 minutes all the time. And somehow I always get off track. Maybe what will happen is I'll get really into something, into the writing project or whatever it is I'm working on. And then that timer will go off and I'll just ignore it and just keep going. But actually I see that as kind of a good thing, because a lot of times, when I have writer's block, I tell myself, if I could just start, set a timer for 20 minutes and just get started. 9 times out of 10, even if I don't feel like in the mood or I don't have any muse or whatever, if I can just get started, it's almost like starting your engine. You just get that 20 minutes in and you're ready to go. And it's like when the break comes, you don't want to stop. I usually do force myself to take the break. I'll take a 3 to 5 minute break and then I'll jump back on and then start the timer over again. And you can do that. I don't know. I do like 3 or 4, 5 sessions that way, and it works really, really well.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's like a car. You turn it on. Sometimes you got to let the car run for a little bit, let it warm up, let it get up to speed, so that way it runs the most efficiently, and that's always a really good thing. I was just gonna say something too. Going back to like talking about energy and talking about motivation and all these different kinds of stuff and juggling, it kind of makes me think too back. Another really good solution is just taking care of yourself. Like when you think about any kind of goal you're trying to achieve, or if you're in school, if you're exercising and you're trying to make a certain goal with that, I feel like everything requires a good and healthy rhythm and taking care of yourself, making sure you get that breakfast in the morning, making sure you get those 8 hours of sleep, because if you don't, get those things, you're not going to feel your best and you're going to be distracted, because it's like, man, I woke up with a migraine today, I woke up really tired, I didn't get enough sleep last night, or man, I'm hungry, and like a clear mind is one that has its needs met. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, just focusing on just making sure that you take care of yourself.
Totally agree with that wholeheartedly. I will say that there are a lot of people in this world who don't, who think, just playing a little bit devil's advocate, like who feel like you just kind of have to be working like 24/7. I feel like, to just be the best. Yeah. I see that in a lot of company cultures. You see these kind of big icons. Like I always think of Elon Musk. That guy's like a powerhouse, working like, I don't know, 80 to 100 and something hours a week, and then just like I don't know how they sustain that. And I definitely don't think he has the good quality of life that a lot of us have. But I mean, where was I going with this? But I really feel like it's important, because it's like we talked about family, right? We don't want to just totally ignore our families. I mean, you certainly could and be successful doing that way, but really, I mean, I feel like real success is not only being successful in your career, but also being successful at home and in all aspects of your life.
For real.
For real. Oh, oops. I forgot I had to hold the space bar to keep me muted. Anyway, so I think we're gonna close it there.
Okay.
Any last comments, guys, before we are done here?
For some like last minute advice, I guess it's up to you in your personal life to, I guess, follow the Nora Roberts advice. And what do you consider a glass ball versus what do you consider plastic? And just kind of think about that and maybe even write those things down. and put it up somewhere where you can see it. So like when you're feeling mentally like stressed out or physically stressed out and overworked, take time, figure out what can I drop, because you do have to prioritize yourself first. Writing is a mental and emotional work, and if those things aren't taken care of, you'll end up dropping everything.
Thanks, Taryn.
Yeah.
And just take care of yourself. I mean, like Taryn said, this is a very a mental, emotional thing. It takes a lot out of you to write. And, so if you're just not at a good place emotionally, like, you may just need to take a break and just say, hey, you know what? It's okay. Tomorrow will be better. I mean, I'm not saying you should go out and procrastinate or anything, but, evaluate yourself, see where you're at, and, just make really good health choices.
In conclusion, I have some homework for you. I'd like you to set a timer for 10 to 20 minutes and answer this question. What obstacles are preventing you from writing your novel? After you've answered that question, consider what steps you can take to overcome those obstacles. Good luck and happy writing. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to check us out on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you'd like to support the podcast, please check us out at patreon.com/OutFoxed.